YouTube, what it do, man? It's your guy CJ, back with another video, back with another episode of the CJ Wilkins YouTube channel. This episode, man, is going to be geared towards the irrational, effeminate thinking man. If you are, or if you know a man who is effeminate, irrational, overly emotional, any man who reacts more than he thinks, right? A guy who goes like flying off the handle without really giving complete thought to a situation. This is for y'all, man. So, first, you have to know what it is to be a man who operates from an irrational standpoint, right? The reason why it's very counterproductive for a man to be emotional and irrational is, one, very seldom in life will you ever get a desired outcome or goal by being overly emotional, right? Is it good for men to be tapped into their emotions and to know how they feel? Absolutely. I'll never tell a guy or like a man to not be to be like emotionless or to not have any feelings or anything like that. But when you operate from the soul, capacity of just how you feel in a certain moment, that's a very detrimental and dangerous game to play. And it's one that men who want to be upwardly mobile, men who want to be, like forward in their progress, you just can't operate from that standpoint. You know what I mean? A lot of people are no longer amongst the land of the free. A lot of guys are no longer amongst the land of the living. You know what I mean? Because they were just emotional, bro. And me personally, man, I don't do too well with emotional guys, like effeminate dudes, single mother raised niggas, I don't really do too well with guys like that, bro. You know what I mean? I'm more so of a stoic guy. I'm very logical, matter of fact. And the reason why I don't really mesh too well, and I say guys like me don't mesh very well with effeminate men, is because effeminate guys have an inability to see things from a logical standpoint, right? You can make all the sense in the world, man, if they feel a certain way about what you said, or if there was a word or a term that triggers them, bro, you got a battle on your hands. You know what I mean? And that, when I think about people who have that type of, that type of makeup, it's normally women. It's normally girls, you know what I mean? Like women who have that thing to where you'll watch the Kevin Samuels of the world, tell women the absolute, pure, unadulterated, truth. You know what I mean? But because it made them feel a certain way, he's bashing. Oh, he's a woman hater. Oh, he hates his mother. Things like that. Versus actually listening to the truth that's being espoused, man. It's guys who are just like that. You know what I mean? If you think long and hard about it, and you probably don't have to think that long and hard about it, you probably know a lot of men who are just irrational, effeminate, right? Thinking guys, you know what I mean? They make every decision in life in a reactionary sense, or based upon how they feeling. You know what I mean? And that's a dangerous game, man. That's a real dangerous game. You don't want to be a man who makes life choices and life decisions, business decisions, family decisions, based upon emotions and how you feeling, man. You know what I mean? A man should always be calculated. A man should always be very thoughtful in the decisions and the moves that he decides to make. You know, because life is chess for great men, right? Now, for regular guys, it's checkers, you know. But for great men, for like, you know, thinking men, for men like who serve a greater God, you know, you have to be very, very analytic and very calculated in your responses and your actions in this life, you know. You can't just fly off the handle or jump off the cliff every time, you know, you think something is up or like something is ready, you know what I mean? You got to be able to analyze like scenarios from multiple angles, different degrees, and you got to be able to kind of see the game like sometimes a few plays ahead, right? But when you are a guy who doesn't think that way or doesn't think at all, actually, you know what I mean? And I gave you guys a story like in the previous episode, man. Like when I was an intern at a state penitentiary for my social work program back in undergrad, like a million years ago, right? But you know, a lot of the prisoners I've talked to, man, they were in there due to emotional reasons. They weren't in there for reasons that were like rational or like reasons that made sense long term. To them, long term, but to me, I'm like, dog, the minute that shit happened, bro, like that shit should have been like, you know, you should have did that, like, you know, ASAP, you know. But to an irrational guy, to an effeminate man, right, to a super, you know, pseudo-feminine thinking man, there's nothing wrong with just reacting because you're mad or because somebody got you fucked up or, you know, you're emotional about something in the moment. You know, they just do it and they'll deal with whatever the consequences are, you know. A lot of times that's ending up incarcerated. You know, sometimes, you know, excuse me, and God bless the dead, you know. People I know personally, man, like sometimes they end up with their life taken, you know, and they're no longer amongst the living, you know, all because someone said something to them or someone bumped into them or somebody was fucking a girl that they cared about or they thought that they was with, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of guys get up out of here, man, behind a female. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful with them women out here, man. You know, it's not all women, but you know, you gotta be careful with women in general. You know, because a lot of guys, dudes act crazy behind some booty, boy. I tell you, man. Like you knock down somebody old lady, man, or you talk to somebody girl, like niggas will be ready to end it. You know what I mean? Like they be young as hell too, man. Like they be in their 20s and 30s and stuff, man. Like they ready to sit down 40 years behind a female, you know. But that's interesting, man. But you know, I always have the ability to see the game a few plays ahead. And the reason why, like I say that, it's not just because I was a former athlete, but it's because sometimes being able to see things play out or having the IQ to envision what'll be the reaction to this action. What would be the end result if I did this? A lot of times guys end up, you know, taking mug shots and being handcuffs and having to strip down butt naked and having a grown man tell you to squat and cough. Or, you know, you get to your cell and some of y'all got the honey bun on your sheets, you know, and you got to fight for your manhood every day. Some people be really putting themselves in a position to be right there. And they don't realize how fragile freedom is, you know. That was the main point of me really doing this video too, man. Like, I lost a lot of people to, like, you know, the prison industrial complex. You know, I had a lot of people that I grew up with, used to hang out with, man, that made a lot of super irrational, emotional decisions, you know. It could be behind, like, the name of a street, the color of a flag in your pocket, you know, talking to somebody, old lady, man, and you don't know that that's his girl or vice versa, or, you know, they'll know, but the girl She a bust down, so like she gonna go anyway. And instead of having the masculine frame to say, you know what, she didn't want to take your girl, bro. Your girl chose to belong to the streets, or she chose to step out on you, or whatever. Instead of taking that for what it is and moving on with your life and removing her from it, a lot of guys don't know how to internalize that, right? So they take actions into their own hands and they respond to it because they feel disrespected, or they feel like, you know, somebody got one up on me. And as a result, they're not thinking, but they're acting, and they're putting themselves in positions, man, where they're not going to be either amongst the living or the free. Both is a prison, right? One is eternity. Well, the other could be eternity too, depending on like how hard you crash out. But don't be a guy who's so quick to crash out, bro. Like that's some of the most petty, effeminate, lame stuff I see in guys, man. And you know, unfortunately, there's a group of women who like that. There's some girls out there who like the wild boy. They like the guy who is flying off the cuffs. You know, the guy who is going to throw it all away if he feel a certain way. And, you know, that's attractive to certain people. You know what I mean? But if you're trying to be out here and serve God and be righteous, man, and build a beautiful life, and it's so much for you to get, brother. Young brother, old brother, middle-aged brother. It's so much for you to get in this world, man. God got so much for you out here, man. I'm not just talking like from like a monetary sense or like a material sense. Like, life is a gorgeous thing. Life is beautiful, man. And there's so many rewards and like trinkets and gifts that you receive throughout this thing called life, that the more you're level-headed, the more you know how to be calm in an adverse type scenario, the more you know how to sit quiet and process things and think about what is the outcome gonna be if I do this versus if I do that. Man, I'm telling you, like, you got so much in this world. There's so many presents in this life with your name on it if you just know how to do that. And I think a lot of people in this world would be better. The world would be better as a result, but a lot of people would have different life experiences if they just simply knew how to sit and think, you know. Because sometimes people will try to egg you on. Like, sometimes people will they'll tap those buttons on you. They'll push them buttons on you to try to get you to crash out. You know what I mean? So, when people are trying to get you to crash out, don't crash out, bro. Remove yourself from those type of situations, man. And if you know people personally, if you deal with people who always trying to, like, you know, get you to crash out, or they'll crash out themselves and they just act crazy and they don't really like care about freedom, they don't really care about life, I implore you, man, please get the hell away from those people. Remove those people from your existence, man. And just watch the quality of your life increase as a result. I was really thinking about this today, man, and I know I probably should have took some notes or whatever, man, but I just wanted to really talk about this, man, because it's important, you know. But yeah, man, like if you got a nephew, a son, a brother, an uncle, a husband who needs to hear this type of information, be sure to send this to him, man, and let him know you're not lame if you be the bigger person in conflict, bro. I know that's another thing, because, you know, like, I'm from the streets, man, you know what I mean, and like I come from a crazy place, but where I come from, it's like people will test you, or they'll put you in certain like scenarios where you got to prove who you are, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, if you got to get down, you got to get down. But if it's a case of where you gotta, if you have options, if you got like the choice to be like, all right, man, that's some dumb shit. Y'all trying to line me up. Y'all trying to trick me out the streets. If you know that it's something like that, bro, you got to move on, man. And it don't make you lame. It don't make you weak. It don't make you goofy. It don't make you nothing negative to be the bigger person in a situation, family. it don't make you nothing negative in this world to say, you know what, man, I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have that, you know what I mean? Like, it don't make you anything, like, disparaging, bro. You know what I mean? So, just remember that, man. Keep that thought in the back of your mind, like, next time you get triggered or someone try to trick you out your spot, and just appreciate freedom, man. Like, have a love and a lust for life. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. That's all I got on this episode, man. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until the next time, I'm CJ, and I'm out. Peace.